All right, for number 8, now what we have is it says which statements about the stem and leaf plot are true, select 2. So since we're selecting true, what we're going to be doing is not only proving which ones are correct, but also circling pieces of why things are not correct. So I'm going to read these out loud and help coach you, but try not to give you, I'm not going to give you the answer, but I'm going to help try to lead you in the right direction. So letter A says there are 25 students that took the quiz. So if I'm thinking about the number of students, I want to go back and count the scores. So right now, I'm going to go back up here and I'm going to count the scores, starting with the leaves. And if I count 25, then I know this is true. If I count less, then I know this is false. So you do that now and label your answer. All right, pause if you need more time. Letter B, only 2 students scored an 85 on the quiz. So we're talking about 2 scores that would be an 85. So I'm going to go back up here and I'm going to look in the 80s and I'm going to see, are there only 2 85s? Are there more or are there less? If you believe that to be true, then you'll write your answer out here. If you believe that to be false, write your answer. Do that now. Letter C. More students scored below 60 than scored above 95. So we're talking about the scores again. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and I'm going to count the scores below 60 and I'm going to write that here. Then I'm going to go back and I'm going to count the scores that are above 95 and I'm going to write that here. And if more students scored below 60 than scored above 95, I would write true. But if that's not true, I would write false. Do that now. Letter D. More students scored a 95 than a 93. So now we're comparing how many students scored a 95 to the number that scored 93. So when I look at the number 95, I can figure out how many students, and I'm comparing that to how many students scored a 93. If you believe that to be true, write true, but if you believe that to be false, write false. And finally, 4 students scored in the 70s on their quiz. So now we're going to go back to the 70s. We're going to be counting how many students scored in the 70s, and if we believe that to be true, then we would write true, and if we believe it to be false, we would write false. Now, boys and girls, I want you to go back and pick 2 answers that you found to be true. And those are your answers. Do that now.